Right, so the big addition for Sylveon VMAX is Arceus VSTAR. A terrific, perfect addition for a deck like this. Let me explain to you why. Because for 3 colorless energy, you do 200 damage, and then you can attach 3 basic energy from your deck to your bench Pokemon in any way you like. This is incredible because not only is this providing a good, clean, consistent 2-shot, but it allows you to pluck out awkward energy from your deck and attach them to your attacker, and then just get them sorted. So let's say we're playing against Charizard VMAX or something like this. We have a Suicune. All we have to do is bench the Suicune, Trinity Nova, and now we have our Suicune ready to go. And it's just so synergistic because if our opponent then decides to boss our Suicune, because obviously it hits Charizard for weakness, we just 2-shot them with the Arceus anyway. So it's almost like a checkmate scenario. In many instances, all you're going to do is 2-shot your opponent's first VMAX with the Arceus, and then take 3 prizes with your attacker that hits for weakness. And against 2 prizes, again, we're very consistent. We're just going to try and run the gambit on them, as it were. We are hitting for weakness. We are going to be taking surprise 1-shots, but they might not be able to 1-shot us back. I'm a big fan. And that is all without mentioning its awesome V-Star ability that lets you get 2 cards from your deck at any given time. This will let us grab stuff like supporters, attackers, stadium, energy switch, anything like this. This just keeps us ticking over, finds us boss for game as well. Really, really cool. Worth noting, the Arceus V has a similar attack. For 2 energy, you can get 3 energy from your deck and attach them to your V Pokemon as well. So worth noting, you can accelerate 3 energy from your first turn. Really cool. Let's have a look at that Arceus VSTAR there as well. So let's have a look at our Sylveon VMAX now. We play a 2-2 line of this. There we go, VMAX Pokemon, 310 HP, Rapid Strike tag. That doesn't really matter for us in this deck. With its Max Harmony attack, which does 70 plus 30 for each bench Pokemon that has a different type. So the idea is here, this is our Psychic attacker. So if we're playing against Psychic weak stuff, such as the Urshifu's, for example, we're going to use this, fill our bench with some different colour Pokemon, and then hit them for weakness on an OHKO. But not only that, it's against everything else, it's still a good, clean, consistent 2-shot, which is pretty nice. Also worth noting, the Sylveon V has the ability Dream Gift, which lets you end your turn but put an item in your hand. So you can do that on your first turn, get a little bit set up. So yeah, Sylveon doubles up as a nice consistent 2-shotter like Arceus does, whilst hitting for Psychic weakness. So any Urshifu's, any other Psychic weak stuff, we're just gonna start attacking with Sylveon VMAX. For fighting weak stuff such as Arceus, for example, we're going to be using Galarian Zapdos V, a basic Pokemon 200 HP with a Thunderous Kick attack, which for fighting, colorless, does 170 damage, and then you discard a special energy attached to your opponent's active. Now, that sounds pretty disastrous, right? That's a lot of energy needed from Trinity Nova. But it has the Fighting Instinct ability, really cool, which lets you remove 1 colorless cost from its attack for each V your opponent has in play. Now, if this is targeting fighting weak stuff such as Eternatus, such as Arceus VSTAR as well, they're gonna have a ton of V Pokemon in play, meaning we can Thunderous Kick for 1 fighting energy in most circumstances. 1 energy, OHKO, pretty gnarly. And against everything else, 170 is still a good, clean, consistent 2-shot, which is the theme for this deck, and remove special energies as well. And that could be pretty important. The special energies seem to be a lot more important moving forward. So 2 Galarian Zapdos. Now, no surprise, this should be no surprise for anyone, I should say, our Dark type attacker is the majestic Galarian Moltres V. Basic Pokemon, 220 HP, with that Dire Flame Wings ability, letting you get 1 dark energy from your discard pile and straight attach it to this Pokemon. Really good for getting energy in play, meaning against dark weak stuff, you might not even need to use Trinity Nova. You can just try and get Moltres out really fast, because its Aura Burn attack for 2 dark, 1 colorless does 190 damage, which is fun. It hits itself for 30, but if we're hitting something like a Mew VMAX, we're taking 3 prizes, they're taking 2, so the 30 normally isn't terribly relevant. But in combination with energy switch, this means we can actually have a secondary engine to get energy into play. Dire Flame Wings, energy switch it where it needs to be. So we can, let's say we miss energy turn 1 on our Arceus VSTAR. Pretty sad, but we want to go for our Trinity Nova next turn. All we can do then is attach a twin energy, double turbo energy, I should say, to our Arceus. Use Dire Flame Wings, energy switch that dark energy to the Arceus, and boom, we are rolling. Pretty fun. Galarian Moltres, one of my favourite cards in format. For our water type attacker, we do need a water type attacker for all the Charizards running about. Charizard VMAX and V-Star. We have Suicune V, basic Pokemon, 210 HP, with the fleet-footed ability, letting you draw a card if it's in the active, which is fun. But the main reason we're playing it is for its attack Blizzard Rondo, which does 20 plus 20 for each bench Pokemon in play. Now the Charizard deck will need to have some bench Pokemon in play. They'll have some, like, if it's Arceus V-Star Charizard VMAX, they'll have Arceus knocking about, they'll have Charizard knocking about, maybe even Moltres knocking about, stuff like this. Entei is another important deck that we hit for weakness. They're gonna have a ton of Pokemon in play as well, so Suicune's pretty good for hitting that water weakness. And then for our grass type, we play an Eldegoss V. Now, we're not going to attack with this one because there's not much grass weak stuff to worry about yet. But this has the happy match ability. When you bench it, then you get a supporter from your discard pile straight back in your hand. Letting us reuse our very thin supporter line, because in order to have a medley of different attackers, and we have to have their basic energy as well, we do have to sacrifice consistency a little bit with our supporters. So I'm sure some of you are going to see this and not be happy with me, but just remember, use that Arceus V-Star and you'll get away with it. So you play 3 Professor's Research, discard in our hand and draw in 7 cards. Always happy fun time. We play 3 Boss's Orders, so we can, hit our opponent for weakness as and when we need to. They might start trying to throw up stuff like Moltres. We don't want to hit Moltres, baby Moltres that is. We want to hit some big boys. 3 Marnie, just so we can have a little bit of hand disruption and have some extra draw cards as well. And then 1 cheeky Raihan. Raihan's really cool because a lot of these attackers can go in 1 turn with help of a Raihan. Raihan allowing you to get 1 basic energy from your discard pile, attach it to your Pokemon, then search your deck for any card. This means we can get to Arceus in 1 turn, we can get to Sylveon in 1 turn, we can get to, if our opponent's playing around Galarian Zapdos, we can try and get to that in a turn. All good fun. It means we can get to Moltres in a turn as well, which is pretty fun for us. So Raihan's pretty cool. Often the Eldegoss target. Now you could do something like this, which I'm not really against. And go to 4 research instead of 3 Marnie. However, I don't like the idea of having to dump as many resources in a deck like this. Like, you don't want to discard all your attackers, for example. So I've gone for a spin. For our search card, Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball is another card that makes Sylveon a lot better because it's universal deck search. It also allows you to discard energy for our Moltres and stuff like this. Obviously, discard 2 cards from your hand, then search your deck for any Pokemon and put it into your hand. 4 Quick Ball. Again, we need to play 4 Quick Ball. A lot of our attackers are basics, so I don't really have to talk about much there. 3 Evolution Incense. Like this, we have to play some Evolution Incense because I don't like the idea of having to learn 4 Ultra Ball just to find our Evos. But if you're feeling like a risky geezer, you could do something like this to help buff your support accounts. However, I want to go for 3 Evolution Incense just to make sure we can get to that Arceus V-Star, because once we get to Arceus V-Star, we can use our V-Star ability and hopefully that'll keep us ticking over for the rest of the game. 2 Switch, because we don't want to get caught in the active. Switch is a nice trading card to have. 2 Energy Switch, allowing us to move energy from Arceus or from Moltres as and where we need them. Really handy in a deck like this, especially when you can Arceus V-Star it. 1 Escape Rope. Escape Rope is actually really cool because in a deck like this, our opponent might throw up the one thing we can't hit for weakness or whatever. If we Escape Rope, it's almost like a soft boss in that scenario. Really fun. 2 Choice Belt, allowing us to hit our opponent's V for an extra 30 damage. This is really cool for a couple of reasons. Number 1, an extra 30 is like never a bad thing, alright? But it also helps offset our double turbo energy because that will minus 20 damage from the card it's attached to, meaning our Arceus now does 180 and our Sylveon has a minus 20. However, with Choice Belt, that offsets that, so actually at a positive 10 in that scenario. Pretty cool. 2 Air Balloon for just a little bit of deck movement. We're going to have a ton of bench Pokemon, so having a Pokemon to pivot from on the back of KOs is never a bad thing. 2 training core, allowing us to get back energy, because we only play, spoiler alert, 2 of each colour apart from dark. And if they both end up in the discard pile for whatever reason, we could be in a bit of trouble. Nice for our hand, not nice for us attaching. We've got 2 training cores to help get them back. 4 of the double turbo energy. Now I am using my HGSS double colorless energies, but just pretend it'll be on screen now what they really are. This allows us to get to our Arceus and our Sylveon really fast, and I guess as well actually provide for Galarians. I haven't had to use that yet, but it's an option, and for float up as well on Eldegoss. But yeah, really cool card. Now obviously past Sylveon decks would just use Rapid Strike energy, but it's nice that this can actually work for other attackers as well. 5 basic dark, I believe. Yeah, 5 basic dark. Now we want to play a few more of those than the other ones, purely because Moltres can like E-switch. And a lot of these Pokemon have colorless in their cost, obviously, like Suicune, like Zapdos, like, well, everything really. So being able to just energy switch them as and when we need to is pretty cool. That's why I play a high count of them. And then for basic fighting, we play 2 of them for our Zapdos, and then 2 basic water energy. Let me know what you think. Can Arceus VSTAR put Sylveon back in super high contention with its extra consistency boost? Let me know. If you're after some more Brilliant Stars deck list, check out that video there. After a podcast, check out that video there. And if you're after some community sketches, check out that video there. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.